it's Jackie and welcome back to my channel for another TikTok trending tutorial. Looking back on the 2010s, there were so many teen shows that starred a brunette protagonist, and they low-key all looked very similar, especially these two and these two. We got Blair Waldorf, Aria Montgomery, ELENA GILBERT, Tori Vega, Haley Dunphy, Selena Gomez as Alex Russo, Callie from the Fosters. As we can see with all these pictures, the makeup is very similar, so that's what we're covering today. Think a very doll-like face, polished eyes with neutral tones, and some variation of a pink or berry lip. I have some of my main products in this gorgeous little makeup bag I have here, and I feel like Blair would definitely wear a Chanel bag. She loves Chanel, and this is my lone Chanel purse that I bought in Paris years ago. I love it. I barely wear it though, and I wanted to share my everyday purse. Ta-da! Here's my everyday bag that I think is so perfect, and I was dying to share it with you. I don't know why it took me so long. I got this around Christmas time, and I think this is the most perfect everyday purse, especially if you carry around a lot, and brown leather is just so classic. Big thank you to Teddy Blake for gifting me this gorgeous bag. I'll be using this as my staple bag in every season, so I hope you guys like it. If you're looking for a new purse, and you like simple but elegant, I think this is an amazing pick, and it's also featured in Only Murders in the Building. Pretty cool. Kind of random to start off the video, but I'm in love with it. So let's get started with this makeup look. Starting with the base, sometimes I skip prep in my videos, but my all-time favorite is the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. It's so luxurious, very hydrating. My favorite eye cream that I've tried is by the brand Valmont. This is quite a luxurious brand. I do have their whole skincare line, but I use this the most. It's the Detox Eye. Applying underneath, making sure to get the corner of the eye and let that sit. Blair's skin always looks very fresh. This is one of my all-time favorite Barely There foundations that gives a really luminous finish. It's the Unreal Skin Sheer Glow Tint. Without a tan, I'm typically shade 4 or 5 in foundation lines, and this one is like a perfect match, maybe a little bit too deep without a tan. Warms up my base a little bit, gives sheer coverage. My go-to summer foundation is Beautiful Skin by Charlotte Tilbury, but if I'm having like a really good skin day, I love this one because you really don't have to apply it everywhere. It blends in really seamlessly if you just want to do little areas that you want some extra glow. Since the foundation is so sheer, I did need a little bit more coverage on a couple blemishes and underneath the eyes. These two products work amazing together. Highly recommend, especially for summer. And can't forget to prep the lips. This is the Lawless Forget the Filler Overnight Lip Plumping Mask in the shade Sweet Daisy. This one might be limited edition. It's kind of a similar shift to my Olive and June nails, and this smells amazing. Super vanilla-y. TikTok trends are so fun because they give people a new search term, a new aesthetic, but I have had my channel since the 2010s and I have quite a few characters that I've done, so I will have a 2010s Protagonist playlist if you want to check that out as well. To give more of a Blair Waldorf vibe, I'm going to match some highlighting and contouring, kind of mimic her bone structure a little bit, but ours really aren't that different, so it won't look too crazy. But this is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Palette. I'm obsessed with it. I'm using this lightest shade, highlighting the chin, up the jawline, by the nose and underneath the eye. Switch to the contour shade, adding a rounded shadow underneath the cheekbone. To make this look more seamless, don't connect it in a harsh line, but just fade upwards and leave a little bit of space for that highlight. Adding some bronzer to my forehead, went a little too strong with it, trying to tone it down here. Blair has a softer jawline, buffing upwards. Finally, for blush, we do have some great shades that you could use in this palette if you wanted to keep it all in one product, but I wanted to share another one of my favorites. This is the shade Mauve Glow by Say. It is so pretty. It has this glowy, almost metallic-y finish, but you can sheer it out, and I love how this blends into all the other products I've put down. Applying it more heavily where the contour is, and then dotting it along my whole cheek area. Blair is pretty blushy and she has these gorgeous cheekbones. Can't wait to powder, but we have such a youthful looking base with these products. All-time favorite powder is by Florasis. I like a bunch of theirs. This one is pink. As you can see, I have it pan, but they just set so nice. It doesn't look powdery on the skin. It just mattifies, kind of blurs the look of pores, and never looks too powdery. Let me know if any of you guys have picked it up and if you love it as well. And you can see, like, you can still see the glow through the skin. With a matte ashy brown shadow and a tiny brush, I like to start redefining the nose. And blending in so it's not too harsh. I always try to say this, but if you're new to my channel, I love to do wearable recreations, so you can always skip the contour bit. Just contour your own nose how you like to do it, but I want you to be able to tell who I am before you even see an inspo photo, so that's why I do that. And then moving on to brows, I'm using the Laura Geller Dark Brown Bravo Brows Soft Pencil and Brush. While Gossip Girl did start out in the 2000s, they've kind of gone away from the super skinny brow, and they're still pretty full, and literally all of the reference photos that I'm looking at from the 2010s protagonists like Victoria Justice, Lucy Hale, Phoebe Tonkin, they all have beautiful brows that really frame the face. Natural but sculpted, creating an arch and then kind of a rounded tail that's thinner. You can stop the brow shorter if you want to. I really like when I extend the brow. I think it like frames the face really well. And a tiny bit more glow with the Rare Beauty Enlighten Liquid Luminizer. Just applying on the cheek to pick up the light. Totally an optional step, but I love a little bit of a highlighter. Boom, let's move on to the eyes. For this soft, polished, everyday look, I was torn between two luxurious palettes. We have this one, which is Gucci. It has like the prettiest packaging I've ever seen, and you can use it as just like a container. This pops out really easily. So you could use it to like hold jewelry. So we have this stunning palette, or we have this classic Dior palette. This is in the shade Undress. Yeah, I think these shades might be better. I've had this for way too long. I just don't want to get rid of it. I'm pretty sure I used it like 8 years ago. Okay, I for sure made the right decision with this palette. I used every single shade here to create this neutral everyday look. I started with the center shade, which is a matte taupe. I applied this in a bit of an exaggerated crease through the first half of the eye, and then just into the regular crease, and smoking out from the bottom lash line just for some subtle shadow. The really muted peachy pink shade, and I'm using that to soften that shadow. Finally, the brightest shade, which has a little bit of sheen to it, to the brow bone, all over the lid, and inner corner. Taking this pretty satin taupe shade that has a little bit of sheen to it, focusing again on the inner and outer corner, as well as that exaggerated crease in the first half. And Blair's eyes are a little bit more downturned, so I'm fading that shadow downward. And accenting the center of the eye here. Her eyes are quite round, and so are mine. Smoking out with my rougher brushes. Yesterday, I spent the day just washing all of my brushes. These ones are my favorite for eyes for sure. They are more pricey, and then my favorite for base makeup are BK Beauty brushes. And that is very classic 2010s eye makeup. Going in with a bit of soft brown liquid liner. This is my favorite. It's by Lily by Red. Creating a thin line throughout the eye and tapering down into a really subtle wing. With Makeup Forever, I'm cleaning up that line, tightlining my eye, adding a touch of this to the bottom lash line, nothing too harsh. I got some MAC PR this week, and I tried out their lash curler as well as this MAC Stack Elevated mascara, and look at the packaging. We have this pretty see-through ball here, and I am obsessed with this mascara. It works so well, gives wispy, pretty lashes. I only did one coat, and then to elevate it just slightly, I've been trying to get a better hang of using these. They are lash clusters from Velour that go underneath the lash line. Whenever I'm doing a pink lip, I almost never like it unless I have some dimension, and Iconic Nude is the go-to. And the pink I picked out I also used in the Barbie tutorial. And then finally a metallic-y pink gloss in the center to pick up the light. This one is quite expensive. You could literally use anything from the drugstore, just you want that bit of shine. But this is the 507 Ecstasy Liqueur from Armani Beauty. I'll shine. Have to restyle the hair, and I'll be right back. And I've done another Blair look in the past, and I did use a different lip combo. I went with more of a deeper tone lip. So here's that clip. It's another super cute lip option. But the pink is just so Blair when she's wearing this schoolgirl look. Overall, this look is fresh, polished, a little bit preppy, and when I was looking on Pinterest for a bunch of Blair inspiration, I came across this look, and I remember not really liking it when I first watched the show, but then it like really stuck out in my brain and I just couldn't stop thinking about it, so I decided to recreate that hairstyle. Here's an iconic Blair updo for spring.
We shouldn't care about anyone.
Plus, I love a good DIY, and this is the little dress that I put together. Flower to match her dress. And let's take it from Gossip Girl to Vampire Diaries. Instead of luxurious products, I pulled a lot of drugstore picks, and this is more of an everyday girl next door look with a vampy twist. For ELENA GILBERT, we've switched up the background. It's actually pouring today, so I feel like I'm in a vampire teen show, and we're gonna do all drugstore. I started out with the Matte and Poreless Normal to Oily Skin Foundation. This is in the shade 128 Warm Nude. ELENA has a beautiful olive tone to her skin. I think this is a pretty good color match. I don't have olive skin, as you saw in the Blair look when I was quite pale, but I did do a self tanner and it's kind of faded out, so I have a little bit more of that olivey glow. It's rare that I've tried a drugstore foundation and been unhappy with it these days. I feel like foundations are incredible from the drugstore, so I did really like this one. I think it looks great. And let's do some highlighting and contouring. I have this Chic Glam concealer that has a bit of a yellow base to it. I think the brighter concealer, toning it down with a bit of the foundation, really helps it blend well. And her face is beautifully highlighted through the cheek area, kind of the entire cheek for a very youthful look. Let's bring in a little bit of contour, blush, still keep it really natural for that girl next door look. I'm using all Chic Glam. These are some of my favorite products. They're super affordable and come in so many different shades, so if you do have kind of an olivey skin tone, I'm sure you can find a bronzer and a contour that'll work for you. The shade I'm starting with is Terracotta, under the cheekbones, under the jawline as well. In comparison to Blair, we're not going as blushy, as rosy. This is a nice sheer pink shade. It's called Love Cake. And I'm tapping this blush a little bit higher on the cheek and down in that boyfriend blush shape, kind of a V, just so it looks even more natural. This base looks really good and natural, even though we have added some sculpting in here. And then I'm finally setting with a little bit of Revlon powder. This is the Photo Ready Translucent Powder, one of my favorites. It's just to tap some off and dust over. I just do patting motions. Let's attempt these brows. Hers are like lower on her face. How am I gonna do this? And this is my most bought a drugstore eyebrow pencil. It's the Brow Stylist Definer from L'Oreal Paris. It has a super fine tip, and I love this dark brown shade. And if you don't have her coloring, don't worry, you can still do this look and it'll look amazing. It is super flattering on everybody. I've never tried this character transformation, so this is me kind of winging the nose contour, but I made sure to define between my brows, creating a shadow under the tip in a rounded shape. Her nostrils are quite small, fading inwards. This part's totally for fun. Little rounded nose tip. Boom. All over the lid, I went with Wet n Wild. This is the Multi-Color Icon Multi-Stick Shimmer in the shade. Is it gonna tell me? Champagne Room, kind of the perfect shade for this look from the drugstore. Apply over the lid as a base. For the rest of the look, I just used this one brush. It's the 01 Mini by Refer. These are pricey, but worth the investment. I love these eye brushes. To add a lot of definition to the crease and make the eyes more deep set, we're taking the Nudes by Maybelline. This has perfect everyday shades as well. And I took this bottom shade as a contour through the crease. Over the outer V, this Satin Taupe shade. Again, pretty similar to the Blair look, but we're gonna go much deeper this time. This top matte shade, let's sculpt out a rounded crease, fade into a very small wing, and try not to blend this deep shade up too high, kind of keep it focused in that crease. Top off the center of the lid with this muted champagne gold, and the brightest shade in the inner corner. Oops, I forgot that we were doing all drugstore. I did grab a MAC kohl pencil. This is in the shade Smolder. Adding soft liner smudged into the lash line. You could also use Revlon. I really like their vinyl eyeliner pencils if you want to go drugstore. Curl your lashes makes such a difference, and my favorite drugstore mascara is the Voluminous Original by L'Oreal. I picked this up in the 90s makeup tutorial I did, and I really enjoy it, so I keep grabbing for it. Something you really won't see often in film and TV is heavy mascara. This one does appear really nice and natural if you do just a swipe. Finally for lips, I wanted to go the more natural route, so I'm reshaping. This one is Makeup Forever Endless Cacao. It's like my all-time favorite for creating shadows, but I'll have one on screen that is a good dupe. Widening the outer corners a little bit. Naturally lining the lip. Creating a shadow under the bottom lip and blend that out. Also, something I noticed is her top lip looks a little bit darker, so create more depth on the top lip. Finished off the lips with a nostalgic product. This is the Baby Lips and it has a bit of a sheer pink. I just dabbed it because my lips were a little bit dry, but if your lip shade is like very red and you want to tone it down, something like Oh Snap, it's a matte shade by ColourPop would be a good fit as well. Just a little bit more pink. I am wearing a kind of similar top to the Vampire Diaries, though she usually had little cap sleeves, and I have a butterfly necklace and some little hoops going on. For a majority of the first season, I feel like this was the staple look. While I used the underlashes from Velour, which are a little bit more pricey, but I decided to just glue some on, and these are gorgeous little clusters. Totally optional to go with lashes, but her eyes really stand out, and here's the overall finished look. I've never covered Catherine because I felt like I could not pull it off. Like, I absolutely love Catherine Pierce's looks, but if you think I did a decent job, I can definitely try, so let me know if you'd like to see it. I thought about using the Twilight New Moon ColourPop collection, but it didn't have quite the right shades for this look. But if you didn't know, there's an entire Twilight collection that has gorgeous shades. I hope you enjoyed my 2 takes on the 2010s Protagonist makeup looks. I thought Blair and ELENA GILBERT were like the most iconic, but let me know if you have any other requests and which look you preferred. Would you rather wear this look, which is a little bit more focused on the eyes, or the Blair look? Speaking of vampire shows and movies, I just went and saw Sinners, which was amazing. Is Vampire Media back? If so, I'm very happy about that. And if you love more character makeup tutorials, I have a full pop culture playlist with characters like Jade West, Aria Montgomery. And I did get a couple comments when I did the male versus female gaze tutorial, specifically the male gaze, that it reminded you of ELENA GILBERT as well. So you might like that look too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.